Hi FlossTube, welcome to my channel, Stitching Haven. If this is your first time watching, welcome. If you have been watching me before, welcome back. It has been about 9 months since I have filmed a video, and I know my last video was not a very happy one, so hopefully this one will be a lot happier. So let's just start with the elephant in the room, I guess. So in my last video, I talked about how I had been having a lot of health problems with my digestive system, and also how my husband was told that he very likely had bone marrow cancer. So, well, I'm happy to report that thankfully, due to my gallbladder removal surgery, my digestive issues have, for the most part, worked themselves out. And it did take the full 6 months that my doctor told me it could take. September was when I started feeling, better. And I had the surgery in March. So I couldn't tell a single difference until September. But that's hopefully over for the most part now. And another thing is, thankfully, they were wrong about my husband having cancer. He has no trace of cancer whatsoever. They did all the biopsies and tests and everything, and they didn't find any cancer. They sent him to Duke in North Carolina for a second opinion. They found no traces of cancer. So, praise God, that's not the issue that he's having. They found a couple of little things that he has fatty liver, so just kind of like more dietary changing things, so not life-threatening things, which is awesome. They still unfortunately don't know where the memory loss is coming from, so we're still at a loss about that and why his memory is just really bad sometimes. So yeah, keep praying for that if you think of us. But yeah, no life-threatening problems here, which is awesome. Also, last time I had talked about that I was going to be going to StitchCon, but I didn't know because of my husband's diagnosis, and he told me I was going anyway, either way, no matter what the diagnosis was. Well, I went, and it was one of the best times of my life. I absolutely loved it. I loved everything. I am going back again this year, and every year for as long as I'm alive, and as long as they have it, as far as I'm concerned. But it was so much fun. I did go by myself. I flew by myself. I was planning on driving for a while, and I finally just told my husband, I was like, I used to love driving, and now that I have the anxiety issues that I have, I hate driving. Driving completely exacerbates my anxiety. I just don't enjoy driving anymore, and I told my husband, I was like, I don't want to drive 8 hours by myself, because it stresses me out just to drive anytime, anywhere, any short distance. I'm stressed out driving, not because I am not confident in my own driving, but I'm not confident in other people driving, so I probably get very unnecessarily stressed. And so, and because I just hate driving, I was just like, I really want to fly. So I flew. And I love flying. I hadn't been on a plane in 16 years when I flew to StitchCon, and I think I loved flying even more than I remember ever loving flying. This was probably the 4th trip that I have ever flown on, so I've really only flown like 4 separate times as far as a trip goes. I've been on more planes than that, but only 4 times flying. So, yeah, I went to StitchCon, and it was amazing, and that was probably the highlight of my year last year. And so, like I said, my health has gotten better, and I was actually able to get a full-time job again. I haven't had a full-time job in 10 years since my son was born. I have not had a full-time job. All my jobs have been part-time that I've had since then. And so I now have a full-time job at the university that I attended college. I did not finish college there, and so I'm really excited about this job because as an employee you get very, very heavy tuition discounts. So my hope is to finish my degree at some point while I have this job. And they also have a private school there for kindergarten through 12th grade, and we are hoping that our son is going to be there for school this next year for 6th grade and on. It's just something we've always wanted for him. So yeah, it's a great job. It is very physical because I am a custodian, so it's not super glamorous work, but I still really, I love it. I love the atmosphere, and I love the generous time off that we get for holidays and everything. Our holidays, we get paid. We got paid for 2 weeks for Christmas. Taking Christmas off for 2 weeks. It's nice. And so I'm really, really loving my job, and I'm also loving the fact that I now have extra money, so if I want to spend money on stitching stuff, I can. So yeah, that's kind of my life update there. So I guess we will move on to whips. I'm only going to show, I've shown all of my whips in several videos, and my whips have not changed that much. I have a few new things that I'm working on, but not a ton of new things, and some of my whips that I had last year, I'm not even sure how much I'm going to be working on them anymore, because I'm not sure that I even enjoy working on them. But I'll show you the ones that I know I've made a little bit of progress on. So my first one is The Reader by Joan Elliott. There, you can kind of see it better that way. And of course I love this one. This is my first like person whip with beading and stuff like that. And this, I did take this to StitchCon to work on it a little bit, and I have not worked on it. I have not worked on it since StitchCon. Because of all my health issues, I haven't gotten a lot of stitching done. I didn't get a lot of stitching done the last half of 2018, which is why I haven't really been on here. But 2020 is going to be different. I am determined that 2020 is going to be different. So here is where I'm at on the Reader. And it is in my Harry Potter Gearon tote bag. And this next piece is also in a Gearon tote bag that I purchased at StitchCon for this piece, because in here is my memory piece from StitchCon. When I was going to StitchCon, I knew I wanted to buy a pattern and kit it up at StitchCon and start it at StitchCon, and it would be like my memory piece of StitchCon. And so this is Ride Forth Singing by Lindy Stitches, And this was the first time I had ever heard of Lindy Stitches at StitchCon, and Stephanie was sitting at the table right next to me the whole weekend. And so I did get to meet her. I didn't get her to sign this. Like, I had thought about it, and then when she came to the table, it completely slipped my mind. But yeah, I saw this the first night we got to preview everything that was there. I saw this and I was like, this is going to be my memory piece. It's coming home with me. Like, I fell in love with Lindy Stitches designs. So this is Ride Forth Singing. And I got another chart from Lindy Stitches at StitchCon, but I'm not going to show that one until I start it, just because if I showed everything I got at StitchCon, it would be a long haul, because there's a lot of things that I haven't started from StitchCon, like free stuff, free patterns that, well, I can't show the free patterns that we got, but, you know. So here is where I'm at, and I absolutely love it. I love this fabric. This is also, StitchCon was also the first time I actually got to shop for fabric in person. I've been to one L&S, I had been to one L&S in my life before StitchCon, and they did not sell fabric. So this is the first time I got to buy dyed fabric in person and actually see exactly what the color was. And Michelle from Mitch Stitch is the one that helped me pick this, because I was trying to figure out what would look good, and she just went and picked this up, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. So thank you. So yeah, this is where I am so far. As you can see, I don't have a flower there because Keepsakes was out of the huckleberry color when I was there, and I haven't been able to get it. I need to order it from Keepsakes, because every time I check, 123 Stitch does not have that color. I'm not sure why, but I'll probably order it from Keepsakes at some point, because I love Keepsakes, and Stephanie, and everybody there. So there's that. Let's see. Sorry, I have things behind me. This one I don't have a picture of, but I'm sure most people have seen it. It's the Cunning cross-stitch letters from Hogwarts Sal. That's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing. I have not gotten very far at all, so yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And I bought fabric that's almost the exact color of one of the borders of the letters, but thankfully there's a shadow color, so hopefully it won't be too bad. But this is like, I think this is 18 count Ada, and I got it from 123 Stitch. I think it's 18 count Ada. I don't remember what color it is, but anyway, the fabric from the Lindy Stitches is from Under the Sea Fabrics. That was also the first time I had ever seen Under the Sea Fabrics. And Leslie, I fell in love with your fabrics. I want every piece. But yeah, that's from Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's a 32 count Joplin in Sea Witch, I think is the color. And I think the reader is just on a 28 count Monaco. So there's that, and this one is my new Haid that I started this month, and I haven't gotten very far because work makes me tired, and I go in at 5:45 in the morning, and I get off at 2:15, and I'm exhausted, which is why nobody has seen me on Virtual Stitchers in a long time. Which is why I'm not really in the group anymore. But I want to join again. So, Sammy, please let me back in. Because I now have the time and the mental capacity to actively participate. Please. But anyway, so this is, it's my biggest Haid that I have, well, I only have one more Haid that's started, and it's a mini. But this, of course, it's Once Upon a Fairy Tale that by Amy Stewart that everybody has started and is wanting to stitch, and being a reader and a lover of fantasy and fairy tales, I had to just start it. I have at least 5 other Hades that I have charts for, but haven't started, and I bought this and started it immediately, even though I've had those other Hades for 2 years now. And yeah, not very far. And this is my first experience with pre-gridded fabric, and I actually really like it because I don't have to do it myself. And I am a cross-country stitcher. I hate parking. I've tried it. I've given it a fair try. I've tried diagonal stitching. I've tried parking like in columns and that kind of thing. I can't. It's too confusing for me. It's just not, my brain doesn't work that way. But I'm a cross-country person. I do cross-country per page, so I do cross-country with this color and then the next color, and I finish an entire page before I move on to the next one. And I don't know if I'll get lines or whatever, but I kind of don't care because I feel like I can't really see them anyway. If other people can see them and they hate it, that's fine. But as long as I can't see them, I'm okay with it. And I kind of want to stitch the way that works for me, whether or not I get lines. And I shouldn't get lines because I do stitch the same way every time. And finally, the last whip I have is my Christmas present from my husband. Not the bag that it's in, but yeah. Gary and Ronnie had posted that they were putting more Downton Abbey bags on the Facebook page, and so of course I had to get one. So I don't know what size this is, but it's the smaller one. Because I love Downton Abbey. I haven't seen the movie because I actually haven't finished the series yet. But yeah. So my husband got me this for Christmas, and it is Mirabilia Garden of Prelude. I own one other Mirabilia, which is, I think, Royal Games 1 with the Queen of Hearts, something like that. And I've never started it, but I've been really feeling lately like I really want to start a Mirabilia because I love big projects, as we know. As we just saw, I love big projects. I've stitched some little things here and there, but I don't get the satisfaction even when I finish a little project, like I think I will when I finish one of these big projects. So here is Garden Prelude by Mirabilia. And so he let me kit it all up and everything, and I need to figure out which way it goes. I think it goes this way because I've done very little. Like I said, I haven't gotten a lot of stitching done in the last few months because of starting my job and just being too tired at night to even lift anything. But hopefully my body will acclimate more and I will be able to stitch more. So yeah, just a little tiny start. And yeah, so those are all my whips that, as of right now, I am actively trying to work on. I'm sure my older whips will probably get pulled out as I do challenges for the groups I'm in, which I think I'm in, well, I'm not in Virtual Stitchers anymore, sad, but I'm in School of Magical Stitches, Full Coverage Fanatics, and Enchanted Stitches. So I'm sure I have enough challenges to cover cover all of my whips in those groups. I have a couple of things for haul. So I have used floss bags for my stitching for the last, since I started stitching a lot more in 2018. I discovered floss bags, and I was using those to kit up each project and always have my floss there. I figured out that I didn't really like that, and because I just didn't, with DMC, I didn't really like kitting up each project. I didn't like having like 5 skeins of the same DMC color in different projects. Because at any given time, I don't know what I have, and I didn't really like not knowing what colors I had, even though I was buying colors for the kit. But I was kind of figuring that if I went back to just buying the DMC that I needed instead of just what the pattern called for, it makes it cheaper, and I don't really run into a dye lot problem. I just don't. So I decided to stop worrying about a dye lot problem and go back to bobbinating my DMC and keeping it all in one place. And this I found out about from the Stitchin' Mommy. I think Sarah is her name. It's a double-sided floss container. So this is where all my DMC is now, with the exception of what's in my Mirabilia that I haven't bobbinated because I'm bobbinating as I need it. And I don't plan on adding any new whips anytime soon. But yeah, so this is this, and I just have my anything that's 1 through 900 here in the front of this, and then my 3000s are on the back. And I really like this, and just having it all in one place. So there's that. And I forgot about one piece of haul that I'm in love with that's very important that I want to show. Oh my gosh. Excuse my whining dog. My dog has about as bad of anxiety as I do, and he's not medicated for it. Anyway, so I absolutely love Teresa Winsler. I still remember way back when I was very young, going to Michael's or whatever craft store we had back then and seeing these books with Teresa Winsler's patterns in them. And if I had known way back when how much I would love her patterns and really, really want most of them, especially her fantasy pattern, her fantasy stuff, I would have gotten them, but I didn't. So, and at StitchCon, I didn't really meet Kyle at StitchCon. I met him at the airport after we got off of the same plane, because there was a whole storm in Chicago. So every flight to Chicago was canceled. My plane was going to Chicago, and so was his. And then we were sent to a plane to Charlotte. Charlotte is actually closer to me. I live an hour and a half away from Charlotte. Kyle does not. But anyway, I met him while we were getting off the plane. I introduced myself because I really wanted to meet him at StitchCon, and I'm not very good at introducing myself to people, just going up to people and saying hello. But I am very, very jealous of Kyle that anytime anybody sees a Teresa Winsler, Kyle gets it. They give it to Kyle because they know how much he loves Teresa Winsler. So Kyle, I love you, but I'm so jealous and really pissed off that you get all the Teresa Winslers. So I decided that for the heck of it one day I was just gonna go on eBay and see. Well, I went to look on the pattern site that still sells PDFs of Teresa Winsler's patterns, and looking for one in particular that is probably my favorite that I've seen. Well, no, they don't have it, so it's one that's out of print. And so I was like, well, I'll just check eBay and see if it's there and see how much it is, because I'm not one of those people that's going to pay hundreds of dollars for a cross-stitch project, for a cross-stitch pattern. I'm just not, no matter how much I love it. Like, Lady of the Flag, I love you, but I'm not paying $150 to be able to stitch you. There's too many patterns in the world that I want to stitch, and so that's not going to happen. But granted, I want to stitch a chatelaine, and it's going to take me that much money to kit one up, but pick your stitchy battles. I don't know. Anyway, so I went on eBay and I actually found the pattern I really, really wanted by Teresa Winsler at not an expensive price. And it is the castle. It is the castle with the dragon. I think I paid $20 for this, which I was happy to do. $20, that's not bad. Not to me. I feel like I have seen it cheaper on eBay since then, but I have it now, so I'm good. But yeah. I love it. I don't know when I'll stitch it. All the blended colors scare me. I've stitched with blended colors before. It's not my favorite thing, but the results are beautiful. So, there it is. Let's see. More haul. So so the next thing is a Bitsy Bob from That's So Kelly Co. I had bought one of her Bitty Bobs about, I think I've had it for a year and a half now. And you know, as you use stuff, it's gonna wear and tear, especially when it's fabric made, so it's kind of starting to rip away, and it doesn't fold closed, and so I was losing a lot of floss off of it. Anytime anything touched it, my floss would come off, and I was losing floss because I couldn't close it when I stepped away, or when I threw my blanket off of me to go do something. I was losing my floss all the time, so I was like, you know what, I want a Bitsy Bob. So I got this one. It's a wintry Bitsy Bob, and it's even got like it's a cross stitch pattern, a wintry cross stitch thing. And as winter and fall are my favorite seasons, I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and get it, even though it's I think I got it in December, but I was like, it's January, so yeah. And then on the inside, this is the inside, and it says, holiday stitching is my job. So it's very holiday oriented, but I don't care. I do like to stitch somewhat seasonally, which I realized because, like I said, I can't find, I don't know if I said this, but I did finish a few things in 2019, and I don't know where they are at the moment. My house is in a shambles. But I finished Pumpkin Hollow Farms in December, and as much as I love fall, I only stitched Pumpkin Hollow Farms for all of November and December when I did stitch, which was not very much, and I got so sick of it, even though I love autumn and I love winter. I do get sick of stitching things that have to do with certain seasons. So that's why I was kind of like, am I going to get sick of having this and have to get another one? Maybe. But I'll still pull this out again next winter. So if I get another one, I can get another one. If I get tired of this one, I can get another one. I feel like I'm all over the place in this video, and it's probably my longest video ever. And my final haul is a piece of fabric from Mystic Fabrics off of Facebook. Misty is her name. I really don't remember how I found out about her. I think she was doing fabric for a sale that I had started, and she was the person they recommended you get your fabric from because she was dyeing fabric for that sale. I know she was doing fabric for the Letters from Hogwarts sale, but I knew about her way before then, and I can't remember why. Anyway, so this is, it doesn't have a color name on the tag, but it's beautiful. It is a opal linen, and it's 32 counts. And oh my goodness. I'm trying to see if that's showing up true to color. It's not quite true to color. It's showing up more blue, but it's actually it's green. It's more of a greenish green and blue. And my lighting is just terrible at showing the color right now. But there it is. I love it. It's beautiful. I think it's like a fat quarter? Or fat half? I think it's a fat quarter. But yeah. It's beautiful. Alrighty. So, I think that is gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if I was all over the place. I kind of feel like this was more of my personality coming out than my other videos, but yeah. I make no promises, but I am hoping to be able to put out a video every week just to go over what I've been stitching throughout the week, because I'm trying to stitch more. And I do have a lap frame that's being shipped this week, and I'm excited. I'm so excited about this frame. I can't wait to get it, and I'll talk about it when I get it. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.